This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everyone, welcome. Bruchim Abam. Sorry for the late start. Bereishis. Sefer Bereishis is again dedicated by our good friends Dr. Zakheim and Mishpachta, Lilo Nishmas Reb Shlomo Eliezer ben Harab Yaakov Zakheim, and Lilo Nishmas Rivka Bas Tovia Halevi. Their neshamas should have an aliyah. They should be Melitza Yisham for their whole family. Ad Biasko El Tzedek. Tonight's Shiur is sponsored by our dear friend Rabbi Isaac Yoselovsky in honor of the first yahrzeit of his father-in-law, Rafael Yaakov Yisachar Nasan ben Chaim Yisrael HaKoyen, Began Eden Tehem Menuchas Yishvil Me'el Tzir, for his whole family, for Simchas Anachas, Ad Biasko El Tzedek. And of course, if you came tonight to get your copy of Magid Rakia on Bereishis, it's available right here. Last year it came out a little bit after Bereishis, so maybe this is its first full year. So here we go. Chazal tell us that the entire Torah is nichlal in Bereishis. But it doesn't just mean Parshas Bereishis. It doesn't just mean the first chapter of Bereishis. And it doesn't just mean the first pasuk of Bereishis, but it means the first word of Bereishis. That the first word of Bereishis encapsulates and includes Kol HaTorah Kula. In fact, the Baal HaTurim gives a number of remazim of what the word Bereishis comes to teach us. Reb Chaim Falaji wrote a sefer called Chaim Tchila, where he connects 101 ways, the end of the Torah to the beginning of the Torah. And the Bnei Yissaschar in the Agar Dekala, he has 192 explanations for what the word Bereishis could be broken down into, different permutations of the word Bereishis. So like we said yesterday in Simchas Torah, when you begin learning the Torah, the most dangerous attitude is, oh yeah, Bereishis, yeah, I learned that already. Yeah, you learned that already. The moment the person thinks that Bagadol Hechin Uvachkatan Kila, which means that a great person, he's always just beginning. A small person, he's already seen it before. So the more a person learns, the more a person should see how little they know. It's like the deeper you go out into the ocean, the more vast it becomes. If you just, you go a few feet out into the ocean, so you think, how big is the ocean already? It's only 10 feet deep, it's 20 feet deep, it's 100 feet deep. The deeper you go, the further you go out, the deeper the ocean becomes. So the more you learn, the more you see it's Arucha me'eretz mida or Rechava minayam. Okay, so we're going to do today 22 approaches to the word Bereishis. It's not a long shiur. And perhaps the 23rd as well. Let's begin with the Baal HaTurim. The Baal HaTurim says that the word Bereishis are oisiyos Aleph B'Tishrei Nivra Ha'olam. Aleph B'Tishrei, the first day of Tishrei. After all, the world was created on Aleph B'Tishrei. That is the opinion of none other than Rabbi Eliezer. Aleph B'Tishrei. Yeah? So the world was created on the first day of Tishrei. So we asked the question that's only the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. So I'll tell you a little important halacha. Moshe has a tshuva on Sifrei Torah. Is one required to stand for a Sefer Torah? No problem. Are you obligated to stand for a Sefer Torah? So only if it's in motion. If it's in motion, you're obligated to stand. If the aron is open, there's no chiyuv to stand. There's no chiyuv to stand for an open aron. It's only a nice thing to do. The chiyuv is when the Sefer Torah is in motion. Okay, in any event, the first remez is Bereishis, Aleph B'Tishrei, the first day of Tishrei. So we asked the question, really? The world was created Aleph B'Tishrei? Actually, we hold it wasn't created Aleph B'Tishrei. It's Machlekes Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Shiur. Rabbi Lezer says it was created Aleph B'Tishrei. Rabbi Shiur says it was created Aleph B'Nisan. How do we paskin? We paskin like Rabbi Yeshua, Ba'alef B'Nisan Nivra Ha'olam. We paskin like Rabbi Yeshua, B'Nisan Nigalu, B'Nisan Asidun Ligael. So why would there be a remez to a incorrect opinion that only works according to the opinion of Rabbi Elazar and doesn't work according to the opinion of Rabbi Yeshua? So we answered very simply. Bereishis bar Elokim is not the creation of the world. Because after all, there's a stira. Later on it says, B'yoim Beroi Hashem Elokim. So Rashi's bothered. How did Hashem create the world? With Midas Hadin or Hashem Elokim, Midas Harachamim. So what does Rashi say? Mitchila Allah b'machshava levroisa b'misadin. Hashem intended to create the world misadin, but ultimately He created it b'midas harachamim first. So Bereishis bar Elokim was the plan. B'yoim Beroi Hashem Elokim was the actuality. So it's true. Now, if Hashem is planning to create the world b'midas hadin, what month would He create the world in? In Tishrei, it's the month of Din. If Hashem creates a midas harachamim, which month would He create it in? In Nisan, it's the month of Rachamim. So Bereishis bara Elokim, God intended to create the world b'midas hadin be'alef b'tishrei, but He didn't. Of course He didn't. He created it be'alef b'nisan. So why does the Torah begin this way? Because before you do something, you need to conceive the idea. So Bereishis bara Elokim is the conception of the idea. Good? Okay, that's number one. That's pshat number one. Pshat number two. The letters Bereishis stands for bara shtei. God created two. What did He do? He created two. He created two Torahs. He created two Torahs. What are the two Torahs? One is Torah Shebechsav, and one is Torah Shebal Peh. So God created the world with two Torahs. Now, why is that alluded to in the beginning of Bereishis? Because the world was created for the Torah, right? Bereishis, B'shvil Torah Shenikra Reishis. So we need to have a remez to the two Torahs. Now, it's very interesting, because the Baal HaTurim writes that the reason why the first letter is a big beis, the beis of Bereishis is a beis, why? Because two Torahs, Torah Shebechsav and Torah Shebal Peh. In fact, in the humble Sefer on Bereishis Magad Arkia, we bring a remez from the Sefer Shevet Eish that Bereishis bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz is gematria. Who knows? Bereishis bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz is gematria 2,701. Zraim, Mayed, Nashim, Yeshuais, Kachim, Taharais. The Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. So that's Merumas. Bara Shtei, God created the two Torahs. Okay? Third pshat. Bereishis are the letters Yarei Shabbos. Be afraid of Shabbos. Now we all know there's a concept you have to sanctify Shabbos. We all know there's a concept you have to guard the Shabbos. But there's also a concept you have to be afraid of Shabbos. That means you have to be afraid to do malacha. You have to be scared to do malacha. Don't say, well, a lot of people have tried to be machal Shabbos and nothing happened. No, you have to be afraid. You have to be scared. You have to have a healthy dose of fear. Now, nobody likes to talk about that today. That's like a taboo word. You're not allowed to talk about fear. We live in a generation, love. Everything is love. Just love them, right? But the Torah begins, Yarei Shabbos. You have to be scared of Shabbos. Of course you have to love Shabbos. You have to honor the Shabbos. You have to enjoy the Shabbos. Kavod, oineg. But you also have to be Yarei. Yarei Shabbos. Who says that? Tikunei Zayar. Pshat number 4. Why did Hashem create the world? For what? What's the tachlis of creation? No? Anyone know? Any Jews in the room who might know the answer to that question? Why did Hashem create the world? To eat pizza. What's the purpose of the world? To learn Torah, right? No. What does God need you to learn Torah for? To do mitzvahs. What does God need you to do mitzvahs for? Why does Hashem need you? Hashem needs you to take a thing and go like that to it. It's a good thing you came, because this is the most important piece of information you'll ever know. Why did God create the world? To be His Eved. God needs us to be His Eved. He created us for Olam Haba. God created man to bask in the enjoyment of the Shekhinah, which is the greatest pleasure available in this universe. How many Oilamos are there? Shai Oilamos, 310 worlds. Barasa Shai, God created 310 worlds. That's why Hashem created the world. So he said, why does Hashem want to give us reward? Because Hashem is such a great Baal Chesed, He wants to give us the greatest Chesed imaginable. What's the greatest Chesed imaginable? What's the most enjoyable thing in this world? Hashem Himself. That means whatever you consider enjoyable, it's more enjoyable than the best food you ever had. It's more enjoyable than game 1 of the playoffs. It's more enjoyable than anything that you could possibly imagine, go to, experience. One moment of Olam Haba, Yafeh, Sha'acha, Shokoras Ruach, Ba'olam Haba, Mikol Chaye Olam Hazeh. So Bereishis, Barasa, Yesh. Yesh is Yesh Me'ayin, and Yesh is Shai. He created 310. So Yishai, you know this one? You ever saw on TorahAnytime when we went to the kever of Yishai? So we pointed out from, I think it's from the Arizal, that there are 2 310s in this world. There's Yesh Me'ayin, Yesh, and there's Shai, Shai Olamais. Yishai combines the Yesh with the Shai. Okay, so Hashem created this world for Olam Haba. Now, says Reb Chaim Falaji, in his 50th explanation to connect the end of the Torah to the beginning, who gets Olam Haba? Who is Zoicha to Olam Haba? Klal Yisrael, right? So therefore the end of the Torah is Le'enei Kol Yisrael, Enei Yisrael, Barasa Shai. For Israel, God created the world to come. For Klal Yisrael, Hashem created the Shai Olamais. That's how you hook the end of the Torah to the beginning. Yisrael, Amich Kulam Tzadikim, Barasa Shai. Hashem created Olam Haba. Okay, so far we have Aleph B'Tishrei. Okay, you can memorize all 22. Aleph B'Tishrei, Bara Shtei. Hashem created 2 Torahs. Yarei Shabbos, Barasa Shai. Number 5. This we also said a number of times. We said it yesterday. We'll say it very quickly. There are 5 senses. There's sight, there's hearing, there's smell, there's taste, and there's touch. And the 5 senses correspond to the 5 books of the Chumash. Okay? So, the Reb Chaim Falaji says that Bereishis is the sense of sight. Sight, in Bereishis, everyone is seeing. Seeing is a very big thing. So God, Vayar, Hashem is called Asher Asa V'nei Tov Ma'od, Vayar Elokim, Vayar Elokim, Vayar Hashem Ki Tov, Vayar Elokim Ki Tov. We have in Bereishis, Hashem looked down to see the Migdal, that Asher Banu B'nei Adam, by the Dar HaMabel, Hashem saw the evil of the Dar HaMabel. In Vayera, we have the guests, the Malachim come to Abraham, Vayar, 2 times. And then in Bereishis, if anybody is bad, they become blind. Everyone's becoming blind. So you have the Anshe Sodom and Yitzchak. By the Akedah, the Malachim were crying, and it's all about seeing. The book of Bereishis is the book of sight. Says Reb Chaim Falaji, Le'enei Kol Yisrael. Bereishis is the book of the eyes, the book of sight. In fact, the word Bereishis could be reconstituted to what? Shebirais, of sight. Yeah? Sound familiar a little bit? Shebirais. That is number 5. Number 6, we know that Hashem created the world bishvil reishis. Who's the reishis? What does Rashi say? Yisrael and the Torah. Bereishis stands for Barishoina Ra Elokim Sheyekablu Yisrael Torah. Right? You knew that one, right? Barishoina Ra Elokim Sheyekablu Yisrael Torah. Bereishis. You know what it says? That's the Agur Dekala. Reb Tzvi Elimelech of Dinav. Okay, next. Chazal say in Psachim Daf Nun Daled that before the world was created, tshuva needed to precede the world. Why does tshuva need to precede the world? Because without tshuva, the world can't exist. Barishoina Ratza Elokim Sheyasu Yisrael Tshuva. Before anything, God wanted the Klal Yisrael to do tshuva. No, it's a good one. So far, how many do we have? You writing this down? No? So start again. Okay, we have Aleph B'Tishrei, we have Bara Shtei Teiros, Yarei Shabbos, Shayoy Lamais, we have Sheberais, we have the Torah, Tshuva. That's 7. You're counting? Who's going to be the official counter over here? Who's the official keeping score? Right? BJ? Okay. We're up to number 7. Now, we did 7. Number 8. Does anybody know how many years did the Torah precede the world? Chazal say the Torah preceded the world 2,000 years. It's 2,000 years the Torah preceded the world. Therefore, Bereishis is Rashi Tevos. Beis Alafim Shana Ra Hashem Torah. So we're going to scramble Bereishis to Beis Aleph Shin Reish Yud Taf. Beis Alafim Shana Ra Hashem Torah. Fine. Next. Anybody know what the world stands on? So we have in our shul, we have some shiurim in the shul, and nobody ever knows when do I let the person say kaddish and when do I not. I don't always let, right? You ever notice that? Not after every shiur we say kaddish, right? You notice that? Sometimes I let, sometimes I don't let. You probably wonder when does he let, when not? It has to be after agadata, not after stam gemara. You learn gemara, you can't just say kaddish. You learn halacha, you can't say kaddish. It has to be agadata. So Perkei Avos, we could say kaddish. Shiur on tefillah, we could say kaddish. But a gemara shiur, stam a gemara in Yevamos, you don't say kaddish. So the Chazal say the world stands on kaddish after agadata. So therefore, Bereishis, we're going to combine taf, beis, tavoy, yashar. Taf, beis, aleph, yud, shin, reish, agar dekala. Don't think, I don't know if I quoted every surah, don't think I'm making these up. Okay, so far they either came from Balaturim, Reb Chaim Falaji, or the Bnei Yissaschar. So this one is Tane b'kavana amen yehei shmei rabba. Answer with kavana yehei shmei rabba. That's what the world stands on. Then he adds a very mysterious line. Basar agadata. Yeah, but where does that come into the remez? Where do you stick that in? We have Tane b'kavana amen yehei shmei rabba. Because we have to go to the next way to read it. Beishin Reishio Taf Aleph. Be'ez, you know when? The next mnemonic. Be'ez Yomadur Rabboni Yisrael Torah Sagados. That's when you should answer Amen Yishmei Rabba Kavana. When the rabbi teaches Agadata, you answer Amen Yishmei Rabba. If he teaches Gemara and the guy says Kaddish, you walk out. He's not allowed to say Kaddish. It's usher to say it. Prohibited. You're not allowed to stam say Kaddish. So they say Kapitel Tehillim and Kaddish. Who said you could say Kapitel Tehillim and say Kaddish? You can't just do that. If it's a part of Tefillah, you can't just randomly, or I'm going to say a Mishnah and say Kaddish. Not Parsha, you could do that. So why Agadata? I don't know. Maybe because the people understand it. And therefore it's a bigger Kiddush Hashem. But I don't know. It's Dafka Agadata, it's not Halacha. mean, they say Mishnah and then they say Reb Chanani ben Akasha Omer.
Yeah. What's that?
That's Agadata.
That's a Gadata. Maybe that's why they say it
I hear.
before that.
I hear. Next, there's a famous Medrash Tanchuma. It says that why did God create the world? This is one of the most famous Ma'amorei Chazal quoted in the Sefer Chasidus. Nesave Hashem Yisbarach liyos lo'idira b'tachtonim. God wanted a residence downstairs. You ever hear that? God wanted a residence down here in this world. And the Iker Kisei HaKavod is in Klal Yisrael. So Bereishis stands for Barishoina Ratza Elokim Sheves Toich Yisrael. At first, God wanted to reside among the Jewish people. What is that, number 10? No, I'm counting that as one because the two go together. Okay? Number 10. Yeah, I dafka put Hey and Vav in one Maramakoim because you need to read together. Tane bekavana amen yesh me'rabba when be'eish sheyilmudu rabbani Yisrael Torahs Agados. Yeah, so that's 10. Fine. Next, this is the best one of all. What's the most important Masechta in Shas? The one that Daf HaShavua is learning currently. Now, whatever Daf HaShavua is learning currently, that's the most important Masechta is what Daf HaShavua is learning. So what are we learning? We're learning Ksubas. Chazal say, Besula Nises Liyom Haravi. Why? Why does a Besula get married on Wednesday? So if the husband has a taina, she's not a Besula, he'll go to Bezdin on Thursday morning. Therefore, Bereishis stands for Azharas Shoiftim Besula Tinase Yom Ravi. It's almost, what does the world stand on? Maseches Ksubas. It's interesting that that's what Bereishis stands for. Shas Katan, right? I guess. Shas Katan. But he's not done. He has another Ksubas. He says, what's another reason why they get married on Wednesday? Shaktu! The rabbis wanted the husband to prepare 3 days for the Suda. Shaktu Rabbanon es takonois b'nois Yisrael. Bereishis. Now, we brought in that Hashem created 2 Torahs. Let's talk about the beginning of Torah Shabbat Peh. Who redacted the Mishnah? Rabbi. Mishnayos is very important. Do you learn Mishnayos? Say, I learn Gemara. It includes everything. But it's good to learn Mishnayos. First of all, if you learn Mishnayos, you make more money. It's a skula for Parnasa. Reb Chaim Falaji says, why is it that Jews used to be much richer than they are today? He says, because they used to learn more Mishnah. Mishnah is Gematria Parnasa. He says, you learn Mishnayos, you make money. Try it. If it works, then good, Try it. Right? Why not? What could you lose? Mishnayos is a skula for Hasmada, the Gra writes. Because when you learn Gemara, you say, okay, I don't have 40 minutes now to learn Gemara. Yeah, but I have a Mishnah. I have 1 minute, I could learn a Mishnah. And also the Medrash says, Gam ki yitnu ba'goyim ata akabseim ein hagolios miskansois ela b'schus haMishnah. The Mishnayos brings the Geula. So it's a good thing to make money. It's a good thing to become a masmid. It's a good thing to bring Mashiach. These are all positives. These are all they're not negatives. All the things are good things. So we have to find the remnants to Mishnah. Rabbi yichtov shisha toiros asher beinenu. Rabbi wrote the 6 books that are among us. Yeah, okay, but what about the Gemara? So that's 12, right? Okay. Who wrote the Gemara? Who redacted the Gemara? Ravina Ravashi. Ravina and Ashi. You don't have to Reb. This is Bereishis. There are no accolades and no honorifics in Bereishis. Ravina, Ashi, Yisadru, Talmud, Shehi Bepeh. Okay. Next. Who's the number one? Who's the premier Mefaresh on Chumash. You know where he's buried? He's buried in Troyes. He's buried in Troyes. Reb Shlomo Yitzchaki. He's the chief Mefaresh. So therefore, Bereishis has to be remez Rabbeinu Shlomo Yefaresh Biur Toras Emes. So you have Rabbi, you have Ravina Ravashi, you have Rashi. I don't know if I could say this. I think I have two better ones for Rashi. That would be my humble addition. Next, weiter. The world was created because of Klal Yisrael, B'Shvil Yisrael. How many Jews are there? 600,000. Bereishis stands for B'Shvil Taf Reish Elef Shel Yisrael. The world was created for the 600,000 Jews. Yeah? So far we have Rabbi, we have Ravina Ravashi, we have Rashi, but now this is a Bnei Yissaschar over here. So what about the Rashbi? Obviously the Rashbi's got to be here in Bereishis. So Bereishis could be scrambled in number 15, yeah? Number 15. No, it's 16 on the sheet, but what number is it? Number 15. Yeah? Number 15. Oh, no. We just did. Okay, I'm up to 16. Thank you. Asar Shavi. Aleph Taf Reish Shin Beis Yod. Adoin Tanoim Rabbi Shimon Ben Yochai. Or Adoin Tanoim Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Or Es Rashbi. Oyer Toras Rabbi Shimon Ben Yochai. That's the one that they use a lot. Oyer Toras Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You got that, Eitan? Oyer Toras Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Yeah? Next. What about the Arizal? She's got to be in here. So the Bnei Yissaschar says number 18, which is our 17th, yeah? Es Rivash. Es Rivash stands for not Oyer Toras Reb Shimon Yochai, Oyer Toras Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shloimei. Who's Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shloimei? The Arizal was Hari was Eloikei Rabbeinu Yitzchak ben Shloimei. He illuminated our eyes in the 6th millennia by uncovering the Torah of the Rashbi. So we have Oyer Toras of Shimon Bar Yochai and Oyer Toras Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shloimei. Now obviously this is the easy one. This is like low-hanging fruit. Rivash is always the Baal Shem Tov. Right? Rivash is Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem. He's called Rivash. Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem. Right? So Oyer Toras Rabbeinu Yisrael Baal Shem. So now this is, I don't know why the Bnei Yissaschar didn't say this one. This one is Parsha. So if you have Oyer Toras Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, Oyer Toras Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shloimei the Arizal, Oyer Toras Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem, you could easily say Rashi himself. Oyer Toras, not Reb Yitzchak ben Shloimei, Rabbeinu Shloimei ben Yitzchak. Rashi was Reb Shloimei ben Yitzchak. That's added. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Come to Shalashudas, and all of a sudden, nobody's hungry. I can't eat anything. I can't put a morsel into my mouth. I mean, the rest of the week, people could eat. And it comes to Shabbos, Shalashudas. No. I once heard a shita that you can be yotzei by learning, but you're not learning. You're speaking dvarim b'telim. Yeah, but I believe in learning. You must eat shalosh shudas. Not only that, you have to wash for shalosh shudas. Not only that, according to the Mechaber, if you're able to eat and you don't wash, you're not yotzei. Don't say there's a shita mezoinos. That's only if you're saveya b'yoser. If you're not saveya b'yoser, you're not yotzei. I'm telling you, there's certain things in this world that the Yetzer Hara exerts extra energy on. Whatever you see people not doing, you should know those are the important things. The Yetzer Hara can't try for everything. So Yetzer Hara goes for the biggies. The biggies are that when you get upstairs, if you're careful to eat 3 meals, they don't turn up the fire. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says anyone who eats 3 meals on Shabbos is nitzol midino shel Gehenna. I guarantee you, you do not want to be on the line and they're going to say, you're going to say, I ate mezoinos. And then they're going to open up the book and they're going to be declaring, do we hold that way? You don't want to be on that line. You want to be scot-free. You want to be, there's the line of the people not going to be in the fire, the people in the fire, and the people they're going to discuss, they're going to be declaring whether the cake was good enough. I guarantee that's one line you don't want to be on. You want to be, just wash and down the roll. That's it. Just down the roll. Take it with Diet Coke, however you need to get it down. Just down the roll. Will be the best thing. JDTR. Just down the roll. It's so important. Bereishis. Rotzain Hashem toichel b'Shabbos shalosh achilos. What are the 3 main principles in Judaism? Malchios, Zechroinoi, Shefarais. Number 1, there's a God. Number 2, He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you want to think. He sees what you do. Reward and punishment. Schar v'oinish. Number 3, the Torah is divine. Those are the 3 big principles. Therefore, the Sefer Ikram writes, the more you believe in those 3 things, the more salvation you have. That's why in Rosh Hashanah, the majority of Shemona Esrei is Malchios, that's Metzias Hashem. Zechroinos, that's Schar v'oinish. Shefaros, Torah min hashamayim. Says the Agra de Kala, Bereishis, Emunas, Yisrael, these are the foundation of Emunah. Number 1, Boirei, there's a creator. You hear this Chiddush? You hear the Chiddush? That the world didn't come by itself. It's a very big Chiddush. Reb Miller once gave a clap on the bima. Oh, what's the beginning? There's a creator. You could declare, according to the Ktsois, what's the Tosfos' Havamina lefi the second reading of Rav Ashi? That's great. Torah is the most important mitzvah. But sometimes you could forget the tachlis of it all. So the Reb Chaim Volozhiner says sometimes you're allowed to pause and be misboinein that yesh boirei umaneg. So Rosh Emunas Yisrael. Here are the beginning of belief. Boirei, there's a creator. They know about that in that yeshiva in Darchei Torah. They know about that in Novominsk. They know. Yeah. Next thing, there's a Torah. The Torah is min hashamayim. And schar, there's reward. There's reward in this world. I'm going to save mine for last, okay? It's a good one. So 1 second. So that means we did so far 20? 20. You ready? 21. 21 is, when's Mashiach coming? So, Reish Beis Yud Taf Ay Aleph Shin. Roimemois Ben Yishai Toich Elef Shishi. Mashiach will come in the 6th millennia. That's now. Meaning, sometime in the next 217 years, Mashiach's going to come. Okay, so we're saying very big chidushim over here. Mashiach is coming in the 6th millennia, sometime in the next 217 years. Okay, the Shiur will be over before that. Okay, but sometime in the next 217 years, Mashiach will come. How do we know that? And what about Elio Anovi, when's Elio coming? Tishbi Yevaser Rabim Betoich Elef Shishi. Elio Anovi is going to give the good report within the 6th millennia. What about when will the dead wake up? Right? In Judaism, believe somebody loses a loved one. Yeah, it's very painful, but it's not permanent. The day will come that you'll be reunited with the Yidden who are kosher Yidden. They will wake up again. And there will be Tchias HaMeisim. When? Sometime in the next 217 years. Tchias Redumim Yiu B'toich Elef Shishi. And I'm going to add one that's not on the sheet. Right before the share, my friend, your cousin, Avrami Herbst, sent me from the Chassam Sofer. It quotes Tikunei Zayar. It says like this. Avram Avinu, in his 10th test, he was charged to be Makriv Yitzchak on Har HaMoriah. But instead, he wasn't Makriv Yitzchak, he was Makriv who? Ayel. What was the Ayel? A Tayosh. Says Tikunei Zayar. Bara Tayosh. God created that ram for Akedas Yitzchak. It's a Bereishis. It's all in Bereishis. Finally, tonight is the yahrzeit of the Chassam Sofer. Actually, we're going to, besides this year, we're going to release a very big, a new release tonight on the Torah Illuminated series, produced by M&N Studios. Who that is, it's a big secret. I can't be Megala right now. In honor of the yahrzeit of the Chassam Sofer, Dvarim Niflaim, of the last words that the Chassam Sofer said in this world. He said Pshat in the Pasuk, V'zois habracha asher berach Moshe shalikim es b'nei Yisrael. And the Chassam Sofer, he was very ill at the end of his life. He was 77 years old in the year Tafresh, 1840. And Chassam Sofer writes in his ethical will, his tzava, that you should learn Torah, Nevi'im, Uksuvim with Rashi. That's what the Chassam Sofer writes in his will. Rashi is very important. It's very important to learn Rashi. Now the Magid of Mezrich, we went to him, right? Magid of Mezrich says, okay, we're going to a little trivia question here. This we spoke out yesterday, this little prat. What was the first thing Hashem created? Oh, time. Yeah, we said that once. We said that once. Bereishis, time, bara Elokim. But the Magid says, Bereishis, bara Elokim, S. God created the letters of the Aleph base, Aleph to Taf. So Aleph to Taf stands for the Oisei HaTorah. So maybe we could say, Bereishis stands for Aleph Taf. You have to learn the Torah, Berashi, with the commentary of Rashi. That's a good one, no? Aleph to Taf, with the commentary of Rashi. B'kitzer, I don't know if you'll be able to walk out and have all of these different Perushim memorized. I'll just tell you, Harbe Yoiser Yesh She'enoi Kan. In other words, this is only 23 explanations. The Agra de Kala has 192 explanations. The Chavetz Chaim writes that there are 600,000 interpretations for every word of Torah. And then the Chesed Avram, the great-great-grandfather Chida, writes, Pshat has 600,000 interpretations. Remez has 600,000. Drush has 600,000. So you say, okay, I'll say a Pshat is probably one of them. Pal, not necessarily. You might not have gotten one of them. Just because you thought of a Pshat, it doesn't necessarily, but it means that the Torah, the depth of the Torah is endless. Last night I saw, we spoke out in Shul, the Ramban says that a person has to recognize that their seichel compared to the Torah is less than the egg of an ant compared to the sun. The egg of an ant is very, very small. It's almost microscopic. The sun is very, very big. the person's seichel compared to the depth of the Torah is negligible. But even so, the Rebbeinu Shalom has given us the greatest privilege that He ever bestowed on any entity, that we have the ability to try to understand TorahAnytime HaKadoshah, and B'siyata D'Shmaya, the Seichel Ho'anushi is given the great zechus to probe the secrets, the depths of TorahAnytime HaKadoshah, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu should gal einenu v'habita neflois mit TorahAnytime HaKadoshah. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. Kol tov. Chananya ben Akash Oimer. Rotza HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakas Es Yisrael. Lefikach Yerbulam Torah Mitzvah Shenemer. Adonai Chafetz Siman Sekai Yagdil Torah v'Yadir.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.